So there's a good chance that this thing ends up costing me the better part of $12,000. Welcome to the channel, I'm Dave, and this is Road Garage, and the day has come. A lot of days. It seems like we keep coming here with this car on the lift and pulling the engine or pulling something, but we're gonna pull this engine out, we're gonna disassemble it, we're gonna actually see what is wrong. We think that it's maybe a rod or two. I'm hoping that it's nothing too crazy, but we're gonna get into this thing, figure out what's wrong with it, and get this thing back together.
This whole crew working on the Lambo today.
Heck yeah, this motor's coming out.
Getting her done. Pretty familiar with this procedure, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately because I know what I'm doing. Unfortunately because I bought a car that I have continued to have to do this to.
Yeah. Turbo system coming out.
Oh, we got it. Yeah.
I mean, they're loose.
Just kidding. All right. Turbo system is out. Look at that. Boom.
So
I was not expecting that.
guess how much this is right here.
Probably more than I want to afford, so I'm gonna knock that.
Just let it go.
The wing and this is like $20,000.
Can we put it down someplace?
And
No more liability.
Yeah.
We'll go over the McLaren.
Over the $250,000 car and with your $20,000 piece.
Oh my god. Can we take this piece off or something?
Like this technique you got going on here.
What's that?
Right in the engine bay.
I really get into my work.
Yeah. So you can see you're really into it. That's what we got going on here.
Oh, look at that.
My door shims. My Lamborghini. Oh, Luigi. We have a problem.
Hey, look at that.
Woo!
Nothing like having to replace a friggin' serpentine belt in the back of the motor.
Yeah, look at this.
Nice and easy to get to.
Yeah,
Look at
nice and
the
convenient.
The dampener's definitely off something else. See, it's got a
Yeah.
serpentine there.
I noticed that.
That there is no other serpentine on the front of these.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what other Gallardo I was working on, and I noticed that. I was like, huh, look at that.
Yep. Threads right here. So when you're lining it up to time it, there's a bar that bolts into it there, and then you turn this cam around right there, and that bars it.
That's actually not
It's not
terrible.
It's not hard. Yeah, if you get the right tools, and I got the tools I got, they were just Amazon.
Nope, look at that. Intake, gone. Look at that. Slowly but surely.
I was making funny noises for no reason. Head number 2.
Look at that, down to the block.
Yank these studs.
Yeah, it's kind of insane to think about how small these pistons are.
Yeah, and how much power it makes. Like,
Yeah.
this little bitty frickin' thing.
2,000 horse capable right here.
So I don't have one here with me, but the length of this head gasket is actually the same length as my LS7. I compared the 2 head gaskets, but that's how much closer all of these pistons are.
Yeah, I know. When you think about overall block size too.
Yeah, it's not any bigger
No.
than a V8. All right, so we're gonna get this back cover off. That'll expose all of the timing chain setup. All right, there you go. So you can see we got a pretty crazy chain setup. These are the 2 chains here for that go up to the cams, and the rest of this that comes then off of the crank right here. So we're gonna end up needing to pull all of this stuff apart. Oh, there we go. We got rods. And we got metal. Bearing material, I believe. So look at this. This isn't good. All right. So this is the bottom of the dry sump pan. And we have all these chunks of metal. So it's all here and here. Over here it actually looks pretty clean. So I'm betting that this right here is the back of the engine. You got your back 2 pair. Our damage is probably right in here. We have all kind of metal here. So let's take a look and see what we got. Let's put this over here. Well, here's our rods. There's some more metal. Okay, here we go. So we'll start here. This is the front of the engine. We've got our rods here. That one's solid. Just a tiny bit, but I think that one's okay. That one's okay. These are okay. Nothing. 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 Oh, that is not good. There's our rod right there. That's hurt. We've got bearing material all over here. Let's see if any of these guys down here are... Well, we can't really see it down there all that good, but I am not able to move them. So I think this one right here is our culprit. That is bad. Sounds kind of like what we were hearing. What is going on? All right, here we go. Now let's look and see. Well, it does. I don't know that it actually spun inside of this. That's really good. I think it might have. You can see that got dark from overheating. So there's a good chance this rod is trash. Holy crap. There's actually no bearing in it. The entire bearing pushed out. That is crazy. All right, so I got all the main caps loose. Actually, it's one big giant girdle. There's not separate main caps like on some of the other engines that we work with. Everything's loose. I've got this ready to pull off so we can see what kind of shape all of these main bearings are in. So we've got this already loose here. So this is one big giant girdle. So this is one big giant girdle. It's actually super strong, the way that they have done it. So I've already got these loose. We're gonna go ahead and pull all of these main cap bolts out. Remember, this right here is our one that where the rod bearing went away. It's what 9,200 RPM does to an engine. I hit the rev limit. I was like 9,100. Once that rod bearing touches that crank journal, you are done for. So these are the thrust bearing. This is what keeps the crank from moving forward and backward. Looks in pretty good shape. Okay, let's see what these main bearings look like. And I don't know if this was wear just from use or if this was with it running that little bit without oil pressure, but nothing super bad. But you can see this shiny. Here, it definitely wasn't on the verge of going. And these actually look pretty dang decent. But that low oil pressure might have got this where we were just seeing just a little bit. So these 100%, I will end up replacing all these main bearings. All right, so we've kind of taken it along. We've got this engine apart now. So I'm actually just about ready to pull the crankshaft out. Quick run through of what we can find so far that we can see that Underground did to these. As far as we know, Proline engines are the ones that they had actually build these engines for them. And what we've got is, it's got steel cylinder sleeves. We've got the majority of them out, but it's got a custom set of ARP head studs. They also, you can see here we have these water jackets for cooling, and there's two that normally go right here on each of these spots, and they've plugged those to basically give extra strength in between the cylinders as these are making a lot of power and they're under a lot of pressure. That's why we have to do a little bit of silicone on the head gasket to get that to seal, because there's still coolant on the cylinder head side. The crankshaft, I was thinking maybe it had a billet crankshaft in it because it was their X build making their max power, but it is, as far as I can tell, it's a stock crankshaft. I mean, it does have the Audi rings on it, so I don't think anybody else did that. Engine block, as far as we can tell, that's what they've done here. Cylinder heads. So here's our cylinder heads. We've got, a bunch of our head studs that we've pulled out. But if you look down inside here, you can tell that they have done some port work. So porting it to help it flow more. The cams still have the Audi rings on it. So as far as I can tell, they're stock cams. They may have had them reground, so they have maybe a different duration in that, but I can't tell any of that. This actually has two completely separate fuel systems. So you have your stock fuel injectors and fuel rails. So as far as I can tell, the stock computer runs the stock injectors and probably is when it's under just normal non-boost driving conditions. And then under the intake here, they actually put in a whole nother set of fuel rails that all of these are ran off of the Motec. So it's got a secondary fuel system, which I would imagine as soon as it starts making boost, the other fuel pumps are kicking on and dumping the extra fuel in. Pistons and rods. So we have Carrillo rods and CP or Carrillo pistons. Look at that. That's a piece of bearing. Yay. And our happy goodness, you want to see what 9,200 RPM does to a rod and a rod bearing. So this is what's left of the bearing. This is the only bit of bearing that was still left out of the whole circle, the freaky circle here. It's good that we shut the motor off when we did, because with there only being even this much left, much more in it with this, I'm sure this would have broke and come apart and did a window in the side of the block, and then I'd really be crying. These are a dished piston. The factory piston is actually a flat top. So they're a dish piston, so they're a little lower compression to be able to take the boost. And I'm sure it's obviously a forged piston. So as far as I can tell, that is all of what's different with a UGR motor. I'd imagine they charged an insane amount of money for this, for basically rods, pistons, and sleeves. Just saying. We're gonna get this thing off to the machine shop tomorrow. We're gonna have them look at the crank, see what we can do to clean that up, get some new rod bearings, get some new main bearings, and get this baby making some noise again. Come on, baby.
Hey.
Crankshaft is out and off to the machine shop.
Look at that, all disassembled. Pistons, bearings, heads, intake. And now crankshaft.
All right, so I'm here at South Valley Machine, and we've got all of our rods and pistons, as well as our crankshaft. We're gonna take that in, see what kind of damage we've actually got, and if and what we've got that's savable. So cross our fingers. Hopefully we're gonna be okay, where we can just clean it up and not have to replace some big stuff. All right, so we now have parts over at Machine Shop. We've got kind of what's left here of the Lambo engine, and just thought I'd kind of give you a recap of what we kind of estimate our cost range is going to be. So we know we've got a couple rods we're gonna have to get. We've got bearings, gaskets, you know, all of the basics to go through and freshen it up and get it where it's got a clean bill of health. We estimate on the low end that we're really hoping for is somewhere around $300 to $3,500 if everything like the stars align. If they don't align so much and we kind of end up with worst case scenario, we could be somewhere around 12. So pretty decent range, but some of these parts are very expensive. So we will know more in the next couple of weeks, but hopefully the 12 grand worst case scenario, not gonna happen, but we'll see. We'll see you on the next one.